Hey everybody, this is Sean Harwell. This is a Never Heard of It podcast. This is the show where we talk about the movies that have slipped right on through our cracks.
This is Brian Crane again. I know everyone thought they got rid of me last week with the Franklin, but I'm here for a couple more movies.
It really dawned on me that I know next to nothing about Chinese film. In fact, I would challenge you right now to name 3 directors quickly. From China.
Chow Yun-fat.
We've got 2 relatively recent films this month. They're all on Netflix. The first one we're going to talk about looks absolutely bonkers. It's a film called Animal World from 2018. Here is a logline. A man finds himself deep in debt and is coerced to board a ship that hosts a risky gambling party. You're going to tell us who made this movie. I definitely apologize because the names are not going to be easy. We're going to do our best.
Yeah, so the director of Animal World is a young man named Yan Han. He directed a film called First Time back in 2012.
Was that his first movie?
No, that would be really useful information to know. One more notable film of his was one from 2015 called Go Away, Mr. Tumor.
Great title.
Absolutely. Yep. You know what that's about, I guess.
Probably cancer, I guess.
That's what I'm thinking. So
could just be a guy who has a very unfortunate last name.
So he was also a credited writer along with another man named Nobuyuki Fukumoto.
You're killing these. These are great.
Oh,
good job.
Thank you. And he had some really fun titles in his writography, the coolest of which was Gambling Apocalypse KAIJI.
Wow,
it just made me think, what's a gambling apocalypse look like? And I don't know. And that was a manga TV series. That's mostly what he's been writing. So I think that might give us a taste of the flavor we'll experience with Animal World. Another one is Akaji Yami ni Oretata Tensai from 2015. And Kanji, The Final Game, which also sounds very gambling related.
Yeah.
But I should warn everybody that's not to be confused with KAIJI, The Ultimate Gambler. This was produced by Ieda Zishi Chen, who had made a number of films, City of Rock, 2017, Some Like It Hot, 2016.
Wait a second.
I hope it's a remake. That would be amazing. Detective Chinatown in 2015. The cinematography was done by a man named Max Da-Yung Wang. He did The Lady and the Tiger in 2018 and The Devotion of Suspect X in 2017. Only other notable crew person on this was a man named Sean Friedberg. He is a visual effects heavyweight. He's done Avengers Endgame, Mortal Engines, Justice League. He's working on Avatar 2 right now. His title is Lead Motion R&D Tech Director.
Wow.
And he has that title on every one of these movies. I believe he is with Weta, which is famous, of course, for the Lord of the Rings visual effects. Mm-hmm. Now, with the IMDb, where I'm grabbing these from, the part of the problem is I have no previous experience with any of these actors, all of whom I'm sure are quite fine actors. So if I'm putting a supporting actor ahead of a leading actor, that's just the ordering of IMDb.
Yep.
But the first one I've got is Yifeng Li, who plays Zheng Kaixi. And Yifeng is known for Guilty of Mind, A Legend of Chosen, The Legend of Fragrance.
The Legend of Fragrance.
Yeah,
wow.
I am excited. Dongyu Zhu played Lin Qing, I'll say, even though there's no U behind that Q.
Well.
She did 7 films in 2017.
Wow, busy.
Yeah, and only 3 in 2018, but she was in Kung Fu Monster 2018, Goldbuster in 2017, and A Nail Clipper Romance in 2017.
God, those are good.
Yeah, and the next actor is obscure even for Chinese cinema, someone named Michael Douglas. He's been in, obviously, Wall Street and a plethora of films. His filmography is quite the scroll bar.
You have a favorite, Brian?
I had a soft spot for Romancing the Stone, one of my favorite movies as a kid. I did enjoy Behind the Candelabra, one of his more recent movies.
Scott.
I think he did for...
Yes, so good.
And this was funny because he did this movie between Ant-Man and the Wasp and Endgame. Also in this is Bing Kun Kao, who plays Li Jun. He was in a movie called The Struggle of 80s. So I don't know if that's a reference to the 1980s or just being 80, which I imagine is on some days a struggle.
Yes.
And this is sort of funny. This guy's on the list of the cast. His name is Eric Heisey. He got his start, I think, as a bit role on TV. He was on an episode of West Wing in 2002. Played the banquet guest.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, that was so good.
No,
right?
I don't. Yeah.
He plays Hemingway in a film called Chasing Hemingway. And I was like, holy cow, he really just, he must have caught some casting director's eye. I check it out and no, it's like, it's a Chinese love story Hemingway, I think, it has to be secondary, so he probably has yet again another 5-second cameo or something. So it was not to be. But he plays Prisoner Eric in this, and it just popped out to me because he's like, oh, okay, here's another American.
So, as you might imagine, without being able to translate things, I didn't find a ton of information about the making of this movie.
Sure.
Wanted really badly to find some sort of quote from Michael Douglas about it. Couldn't even find that.
Oh, wow.
So they did apparently shoot this movie between February and August of 2017, and they shot on locations in Beijing, Tianjin, and Haikou. Which I didn't know there was a place called Haikou, but this has an O in it, so again, maybe I'm mispronouncing it.
Okay.
IMDb called this both a version of and a remake of a 2009 Japanese film, which you've mentioned the title before, KAIJI, The Ultimate Gambler. The 2009 film is a live-action film directed by Toya Sato. This movie premiered and opened the Shanghai International Film Festival, which is a big deal, and I did not know this, but I do think it's awesome that at that film festival they have an award called the Jackie Chan Action Movie Award.
Oh, brilliant.
That's nice to know.
Yes.
But yes, this got a limited release in the USA, I think presumably only on Netflix. It did play other non-Asian countries, and that was all released same day as China, June 29th, 2018. This was also known as Animal Mundo in Brazil. And Dung Mat Sai Gai in Cantonese. I don't know what dung means in Cantonese, but I'm very curious. I never saw a budget listed for this movie. I don't know. But it did top the Chinese box office the week it came out. Guess what movie it knocked out of first place, Crane?
The Wandering Earth.
Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, my friend.
Okay.
It grossed over $77 million US dollars in China. Did fairly well in the United Arab Emirates. Did so-so in the UK. It made over 200,000 in other territories, etc. According to data released by the China Film Bureau, the number of movie theaters in mainland China was 9,965 as of March 2018. And those 9,900 theaters offer 54,165 screens, which, yes, now tops the United States, which has about 45,000 screens as of 2017. 88% of those screens can show 3D, and 502 of them are IMAX screens.
Wow, that's a lot.
Once again, 1.4 billion people in China. They say there's still plenty of room for growth, specifically in what's considered a small city or a rural area there. There's a town called Zhulo outside of Beijing. They had 3 screens and 400 seats for a county of 350,000 people, right? There's only 23 screens per million Chinese people compared to 125 per million in the U.S. About those ticket prices, I tried to find out that specific answer. I looked at Quora.com, saw ranges from about $4 to $16.
Okay.
One thing that I thought was interesting, they said that most movie theater chains over there have half off prices if you book online.
Wow.
Man, that sounds fantastic.
Yeah, that's worth doing.
Global box office, 2018. There were 2 Chinese films that placed in the top 20. One was a movie called Operation Red Sea, which made over $575 million globally.
Whoa.
Less than 2 million of that was made in the United States, which is crazy. It finished 13th overall worldwide for that year, just behind Ready Player One. You mentioned a movie called Detective Chinatown. Yeah. Well, there is a sequel to that called Detective Chinatown Volume 2, and that was number 14 with $544 million total. I'm wrong, actually. They had 3 in the top 20. There was a movie called Dying to Survive, which had over $451 million. It seems like the critical reception is pretty good. Deborah Young at Hollywood Reporter said, quote, "It's an exciting, if disjointed mash of ideas and emotions," said Michael Douglas is, quote, "humorous without being facetious and scary in his cynicism." Lee Monson at Birth Death Movies said, "Animal World is oddly split in its focus and doesn't deliver the story it promises in its first act. The movie we eventually get is just fine, pretty good even, but it feels intent to reel you in with false expectations that can only serve to make the real plot inevitably disappointing. Here's hoping that promised sequel actually does something with this bonkers Pennywise meets Kick-Ass concept." So, yes, there will be clowns in this movie. Prepare yourself, folks.
Oh, man.
Yifeng Li won a jury award, and Yan Han got a special jury mention at the 2018 Beijing Youth Film Festival for this movie. So I think it definitely is geared a little more towards teens. And
Okay.
we'll see. Again, the movie is Animal World. It's 2018, streaming on Netflix. You got Michael Douglas surrounded by people who speak a language I'm sure he does not understand. So,
Yeah, watch the first 5 minutes, see what you think of it, and we'll tell you about the rest.
absolutely.